Hi guys, this HackerRank challenge is called minimum distances, and it's going to be a long one because I'm going to take my time and explain exactly my solution and the logic behind it. So the instructions say we define the distance between two array values as the number of indices between the two values. So given an array A, find the minimum distance between any pair of equal elements in the array. If no such value exists, print -1. So I'm going to switch to my notepad here and I'm going to give you an example. Let's say we have this array 3, 2, 1, 2, and 3. Then we can have a pair of indices for the elements of value 3. The reason why I'm using 3 is because 3 is repeated inside the array. So it is repeated as index 0 and also at index 4. So here you can see that I have this pair for 0 and 4. So you could have, it will be a pair in C++. But for now, I'm just giving you some examples with some pseudocode and all that. Now we can also find the number 2 or the elements of value 2 repeated inside our array. So the pair of indices for the elements of value 2 would be index number 1 and also index number 3. And that is what you see here. That will be our pair. So the distance between the repeated elements of value 3 would be 4 because 4 minus 0 is 4. And the distance between the elements of value 2 would be 3 minus 1, which is 2. So why does the distance matter so much? That is because in this HackerRank challenge, we need to complete the minimum distances function to return the minimum distance between any two matching elements. So the minimum distance here would be the distance 2. And in that case, that corresponds to these elements right here. They are closer to each other inside the array than the pair of elements of value 3. So that is what my function does here. But before I proceed, because I'm using maps in here, I want to keep this in linear time. I need to explain to you a bit more about the rules of my maps. Let's say we have an array like this, 7, 1, 3, 4, and 1 and 7 as well. The number 7 or the value 7 is repeated in the array. It's in the first position, which is index 0, and also the last position, which is index 5. So the rules for the map, the way I'm going to use my map in my solution is like this. Rule number 1, if the value is not in the map, we need to add it with a pair like this. So in that case, we would have, for instance, the value 7. The first index, the first time we found it, that would be index 0. So because we are looping through our array once, we're going to have a for loop where I equals 0 at first, corresponding to the first index. So at the first iteration, we are here. We don't know yet if we are going to find 7 again. So for now, we just add the second index as int max. So that will be 2 billion something. Now, rule number 2, if we find that value again, we need to update the second number corresponding to the index like this. So let's say we have 7. We already find the value 7 at index 0. Now we would need to add 5 here. Why 5? Because we were able to find 7 at index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at index 5, we found 7 again. So we would get that pair right here. For rule number 3, if we find it another time inside our array, then we need to compare if the new distance between the last time we found it and the current index is in fact smaller than what we have right now. So let's say we have this 7. For now, we would have 0, and then that would be 5 for the new index. But let's say our array was longer and we had 7 again like that. So in that case, that is index 5, index 6. So the new distance would be 1. The distance between these two matching elements is better or smaller than the distance between this one and this one. So we would go from this one right here, where we have 7, 0, and then int max for the first time we find the number 7. Then we would have this one right here for the second time we found the second number 7. So we now updated our pair here. We no longer have int max because we have a second value. And then we would update our pair like this, where these are the indices corresponding to the new minimum distance for the elements of value 7. So if we had an array like this, of course, we can find 7 here again at the end, but the distance between this last one and this one right here is not smaller than these two, so we would simply ignore. And that is what rule number 4 is talking about. If we find another time that's element, but the new distance isn't shorter, we simply ignore it. So in my initial array like this, if that was in fact our array, our map would look something like this. So the number 1 is also repeated at index 1 and 4. So you can see index 1 and index 4, 1 is repeated. So the distance between the two elements of value 1 would be 3. That is what I have here as a comment. And number 3 doesn't repeat, so we will still have the first index, and that is the value of int max. The same thing applies to the element of value 4. We would have the first time we find it, which was index 3, and then that right here is int max. And for 7, well, we found it twice. That was at index 0 and also at index 5. So the distance would be 5. Now, between that distance here and this one right here, the minimum distance is obviously 3. So we would return 3 in our function. So I think enough explaining for now. I'm just going to jump through the code quite quickly now because I guess you get the logic. So this is our function. It's called minimum distances and it expects an integer as the return value. And this is our parameter, which is the vector of integers called a. Now, inside of our function, we create a map, and I'm calling that map m. So you can see here again that our map has a key, of course, and the value is a pair of integers. So that is what the type of our map is. We have ints, so that will be the key. And then here we have a pair of 2 integers as the value for every key in our map. Then we have this minimum function. At first, we don't know what is the minimum distance, so we just set it to int max, which is the maximum integer value in C++. And by the way, here I'm talking about signed value, not unsigned value. Then we have our for loop where everything happens. So we loop from the very beginning, index 0, all the way until the last accessible index inside our vector. And by the way, I have this as unsigned long and not as integer because it is necessary for the test cases that we're going to run. So if you guys are having errors, just switch int to unsigned long. Now, the first thing that we want to do inside our for loop is find the value. So when I say a and I use this index operator and I put I in between, it means I am accessing a value inside my array. So basically here I'm trying to find a key. So if I'm unable to find a key, this right here is going to equal m.end. So m.end means we've gone past our map. We were not able to find the value that we wanted as the key. So if we were not able to find it, we simply need to insert it inside our map and set the first value of our pair to the index, the current index that we're at, and the second value as int max. So that is what you saw in my example right here. So when we saw 7 the first time, we added 0 as the first value inside our pair and int max as the second value. Now, if we were able to find that value inside our map, then the else statement is going to run instead. And in that case, we want to get the first value and we're going to store it inside a variable that I'm calling first. So that will be the first value inside our pair. And our second value is going to be the second value inside our pair. So when I say second value, I'm talking about this second variable here. And I'm storing in here gets 1 and I'm passing it our pair. So if you've not seen me use gets like this is basically a function in C++ that lets you access values from a pair. So if you have get 0, it means you're accessing the first value. If you have get 1, it means you're accessing the second value. Now I want to compare if the second value is equal to int max. So if it's equal to something like this, then I know that I need to update that one right here. That is what my second rule says. If we find it again, update its second index number. So in that case, if the second value is int.max, I simply need to update that second value to the index of I so that I change from this right here to this. Now that I've updated my second value, I want to compare if the current index minus the first one, which will be something like this. So if 5 minus 0 is less than my current minimum value, then I want to update my minimum value. Now, if that fails, perhaps we already have 2 machine elements, then we want to find the new difference between our current index and the last one. So inside my example that you saw here, that is what we were talking about. Let's say we found the number 7 again at index 6. We would simply discard 0 and have this pair instead. So that is what my code here does. If the new difference that you can see here is less than the current difference that we have, then we simply want to update it like this. And then we also update our minimum variable because that means we found a new minimum distance. So at the end, we simply check, were we able to update our minimum value? If we were not able to do that, that means we did not find any duplicate element inside our array. So we simply need to return -1. If at some point we're able to update our minimum value, then we need to return whatever new value we have as the minimum distance. So I'm now going to run this code and we should be able to pass. I apologize if it looks a bit messy, but if you have any questions, just drop them in the comment section. I'll make sure to reply. So you can see that here we pass test case 1 and also test case 0. So we can now submit this code just to be 100% sure that everything passes. And you can see that all of them pass successfully. I'm going to close this mini tutorial now. Please make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.